Hello, Adonim Shel HaMishna. I'm about to sing and explain Mishna, Bava Metzia, Bet Vav, Chapter 2, Mishnah 6. Now, first I will sing it, and then I will explain it. Ve'ad matai chayav lehachriz, ad kidei sheyeduvo shechenav, divrei Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Shalosh regalim, ve'achar haregal ha'acharon, shiva yamim, kedei she'elech leveto shlosha, ve'achzor shlosha, ve'achriz yom echad. So, our Mishnah asks us, Ve'ad matai chayav lehachriz. And until when do you have to announce it? Meaning, when you find an Aveida, when you find a lost object, for how long do you have to announce it? How do I accomplish the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveida, returning a lost object? And we see the first answer from a rabbi called Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says, Ad kidei sheyeduvo shechenav, until you have announced it enough that your neighbors know about it. Now, shechenav in this context are not neighbors. They are whoever was likely around the object that was lost. Next, we see the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Now, he says the length of time of the 3 holidays that you would go to the Beit HaMikdash plus 1 week. Now, the reason why it's the length of time for these 3 holidays that you would go to the Beit HaMikdash plus 1 week is that maybe someone may be away from their house the whole time at the Beit HaMikdash, for example, and they will not realize that they lost anything until they go home and they unpack. Often when you're on a trip, you don't realize that you've lost anything until you unpack. So that you have the length of time of these 3 holidays plus a week, because you may take up a couple of days to go to the Beit HaMikdash. Maybe it'll take around 3 days to return to the Beit HaMikdash where you lost it. And then 1 day to go around hearing the announcement, trying to figure out who may have your Aveida, your lost object. Now, the halacha probably originally followed the second opinion in our Mishnah, that you had to do it the length of time of these 3 holidays plus 1 week. Now, the reason why that wouldn't apply now is there isn't a Beit HaMikdash, and there isn't the same mitzvah to go to the Beit HaMikdash. Now, so the halacha follows the first opinion, Rabbi Meir, that you have to announce it to your neighbors, meaning anyone who is around where the object was lost. And you can accomplish the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveida either through actually going around announcing it or making a sign, but it's also a mitzvah if you put it in the Even HaToen, in the lost and found. Now, in order to make sure that you really listened to this and you didn't just skip from the first word until the last word, I want you to also write in your assignment notebook, Rabbi Katzman is a meanie poo. Again, Rabbi Katzman is a meanie poo. If you don't write that, then you won't get credit. All right. So now a further thing that I want us to be talking about is, how do you announce it? You don't tell the person everything about how the object looks. You just mention what it is. So if it is a basketball, you say, I found a basketball. But you leave out any simanim, identifying marks that may be on it. Because originally you announced everything, but the rabbis found that there were ramaim, liars, people who were capable of fraud. So in order to make sure people won't claim objects that aren't theirs, you make them tell you the unique features of the Aveida, of the lost object. Now, there are times when the halakha will say that theoretically there is no mitzvah of Hashavat Aveida. But I think, and Jewish law still thinks, that you shouldn't just do things because there's a specific mitzvah or a specific law telling you to do what is right. Meaning that even if there's no identifying mark on this object, and it's in a Reshut Harabim, maybe there are times where you should still try to find the owner, like with something very expensive. Because sometimes you should do things not because you have to, but because it is right. This is the concept of lifnim mishurat hadin. This is a concept of Jewish law that sometimes we go lifnim, beyond the letter of the law. That even if there's no law telling us that this is a mitzvah, that this is right, you should choose to go beyond the letter of the law and do what is correct. Alright, good luck. Go Adonim Shel HaMishna. Go Masters of Mishnah.